Hello, bachcho. Let's see the question. So the question says, which of the following is not true for cloning vector? So the first option is more than two origin site of replication. Second is vector should have selectable marker gene. Third is single recognition site for commonly used restriction enzyme. And the fourth is PBBR 322 have tetracycline resistance. So the key concept in this question is to first understand what is a cloning vector. So this is an easy question. Let's begin by first understanding the key concept. So cloning vectors are used in recombinant DNA technology. Now in recombinant DNA technology, the main function of cloning vector is to transmit or the transmission of the gene of our interest from one organism into the host organism. So cloning vector recombinant DNA टेक्नोलॉजी में हम यूज करते हैं और उसका मेजर फंक्शन इज टू ट्रांसमिट द जीन ऑफ आवर इंटरेस्ट इनटू द host organism. Now every cloning vector has certain important features. So the most important features of a cloning vector are as follows. So first of all, every cloning vector should have an origin of replication so that the vector can replicate on its own inside the host cell and does not depend upon the replication process of the host cell. Now, the origin of replication cannot be more than two. So, there cannot be more than two replication sites. So, more than two replication sites नहीं हो सकता है एक cloning vector में. The second feature which is absolutely necessary in a cloning vector is the presence of restriction sites or cloning sites. So at least one restriction site or cloning site must be present in the cloning vector. So restriction site क्या है cloning vector में कि कोई restriction enzyme जब इस site पे act करेगा तो restriction enzymes will cleave the DNA of the vector and in that region we can insert the gene of our interest. So ये एक very important feature है of the cloning vector. Now the third important feature is the presence of at least one selectable marker gene. So selectable markers होता है to identify the recombinant cloning vectors. So selectable marker भी एक very important feature है in the cloning vectors. So these are some of the important features which must be present in a functional cloning vector. Now, one of the most commonly used cloning vector is the PBBR 322. So this is a plasmid vector. And this vector has all the given three features, that is it has an origin of replication, it has multiple cloning sites and it also has two selectable markers. Now, the selectable markers which are present in PBBR 322 are, so the first one is the tetracycline resistant gene. So this is one selectable marker, and the second selectable marker which is present in the PBBR 322 is the ampicillin resistant gene. So both of these are the selectable markers in PBBR 322. Now if we see the options, so the first option says more than two origin site of replication. So this is an incorrect statement because it is not true for a cloning vector. So a cloning vector cannot have more than two origin of site of replication. So therefore this is the correct option because this is the incorrect statement about the cloning vector. Now if we see the other options, the vector should have a selectable marker gene. So ये हमने देखा कि हर वेक्टर में ये एक essential feature है कि उसमें एक selectable marker gene हो. So now this is the correct statement. Therefore, this is the wrong option. Now the third one is single recognition site for the commonly used restriction enzyme. So again, this statement is correct and therefore it is the incorrect option because it is a true statement for cloning vector, because every cloning vector should have at least one recognition site or the cloning site. Now the fourth one is PBBR 322 have tetracycline resistance. So again this statement is true about a cloning vector because we saw that PBBR 322 has two selectable markers, that is ampicillin resistance and tetracycline resistance. So again this option is also incorrect because this is a true statement about the cloning vector. So now if we see the answer, so the final answer for the given question is option number 1, that is more than two origin of replication is the final answer. Hope you understood this well. Best of luck. Thank you.